Hello, my name is Stephanie Fritsch, and the reason why I'm doing this video is to say I'm a transgender woman who lives at the poverty level because I have a disability. When you're a transgender woman who lives at the poverty level, a lot of things that aren't available to you, like proper food, proper medical insurance, and a whole slew of services that most people take for granted. Lately, I don't think people like me are getting any acceptance because of lack of media contact and lack of media, putting people like my narrative out there. There's a lot of, in my community, there's a lot of trans women who are like me. The average transgender woman lives out of below the federal poverty level. And quite frankly, the media needs to know that, because the media has, the responsibility, since they have the First Amendment, to get all stories out there, not just specific ones that will give advertiser dollars. I realize that my story is not like life-shattering, but it needs to be out there this time more than ever in Trump America. People don't understand what people like me go through, and situations that I go through that are very heart-wrenching, emotional, and really hardcore poverty. My situation is not really been covered a lot in the media, because I think media companies are really afraid to put it out there. There's a lot of transgender women like me who have a disability, which is psychological, and because of that, the fact of the matter is that there's not a lot of trans women who are willing to put themselves under scrutiny this way, because of major league stigmatization that's associated with it. And society needs to know my story. Society needs to know that, yes, all the things that I've been through have been horrific. I'm still here. Society needs to know a story of perseverance, integrity, and compassion for a community. It's not being shared out there. The thing is that media organizations need to get my story out there and not, put it on the cutting room floor. I have the same valid voice as anyone in this country because I was born here. I'm an American citizen, and my story has to be put out there. It's not because I want it to be, for seeking notoriety. That's not the reason why I've done this. I've been doing a lot of political stuff, and you can Google my name, and you'll find out that I was in North Carolina fighting HB 2 laws. You'll find out that I've, stood up against a governor in Virginia. You'll find out that, I've done a lot of things, including, standing up against Pence and Trump on national media as well. I've been on CNN. You can Google that article. I was on a live feed of Fox and Friends, and my name's appeared in Sydney, Australia. As a trans woman who lives on disability, I don't get a lot of money. I'm struggling financially, and I've been doing this for so many years, and it's very hard to hold on. I have to wait 14 months for a medically necessary procedure because I cannot afford it, and I cannot afford an $8,000 copay that Medicare wants me to pay for it. That's egregious. So my story needs to be out there. People don't understand that. If you're an editor of any newspaper, or if you're an editor of any media source, you should get people like my narrative out there as well. I'm not a beautiful Hollywood star like Jazz Jennings or a Caitlyn Jenner. I am a transgender woman who lives at poverty. And people don't want to know that. But the story needs to be out there more than ever because I'm willing to put myself out there, which I have constantly for my community, defending the community. You know, anyone who would totally marginalize me and stigmatize me again and not give me a voice, that's the most egregious matter ever. I'm a First Amendment girl. I'm for it. So, people should get my story out too. Okay? It's as valid as anyone else's. You know what? In the end of the day, you know, I spend a lot of time, writing, stories, submitting them to media organizations, and everything gets rejected. I'm tired of ending up on the cutting room floor, so to speak. Get my story out there, because it's a story that's true. Reality of the average transgender woman makes at or below the federal poverty level. 41% of the transgender population, especially women, attempt suicide at least once in their lives because of not having a voice and not feeling like a valuable member of society. You know what? I've gone through drug addiction, alcohol addiction, all this stuff, just to be where I am. I've been sober since June 22nd, 2002. That's a long time to be sober, but I'm a strong person, and my story needs to be out. And if you're an editor of anything, it is your fiduciary duty to actually get it out. I'm a strong advocate because my life depends on it. And people need to know that a lot of horrific things can happen to a person, but they still are there. I'm a success because I'm still here at 54 years old. I'm a success because of all my good accomplishments in the past 4 years. Yeah, it's just like you should understand and cover people like me. Because my story has the same amount of value as anything else that's put out there. Because I am a human. I am a citizen of the world who has an equal vote in the United States of America. And I use that every election. All the paperwork to change your name legally, all the medical procedures that you go through, it's mind-numbing. And it's a barrier that's been put in front of people who don't have a lot of money. If you have the economic resources, you can afford to pay for surgeries. You can afford to pay a lawyer to do all your dirty work. When you're a person like me, I don't have any resources. I barely survive month to month because my disability is so low. I only live on $93 a month for food, and that should get out there too. Trump, America is literally starving me, and people like me. I know it's not a sanitized version or a top quality video here. At the end of the day, this is who I am. This is what I am, and my story needs to be told. I stood up against governors of the state of Virginia against racism. Look at my picture in Politico. Okay? I have done this. On disability, money has come out of my purse because I cared about my community. Now, I need to take care of me. And part of taking care of me is trying to get money so I can pay for the $8,000 copay, pay for other things so I would look more passable in society. This is me. I'm not passable because I can't afford to be. And you should get that story out there because there's so many people like me. And if you do not do that, you are not an advocate for any community. To advocate for to be an advocate, you must advocate for every community, every level of that community.